Keep getting distracted, buying new stuff, toys, tools for recreation. I'm adventuring out into the woods, and I keep getting ideas for more and more camping conveniences, convenient items. I'm thinking about what you said, use money as a tool for happiness, but when I get this stuff, I regret it, buyer's remorse. I'm not saying I'm unhappy. I just feel like I'm in a bit of a funk. This was the message we got from Kaleb. I hopped on the phone with him, and we unpacked this feeling of funk. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Brian Sullivan. I am a professional financial planner, and for the last 20 years, I have worked with truck drivers and TV stars, and corporate executives and school teachers, plumbers and pro athletes. My mission is to eradicate financial insecurity in America. Too many Americans are consumed by crippling and depressing anxiety over money, and that has got to stop. My point in telling you this is that I've seen a lot of family budgets. I've reviewed a wide variety of checking accounts and credit card statements. I have made thousands of balance sheets and cash flow statements for families. I know their struggles with money. I know their wins too, and I've seen it all. I think I've seen it all. From folks that give way too much to charity, they're good-hearted folks, to people who hide money from their spouses because both of them are having extramarital affairs, and that money ends up contributing to the demise of their marriage. Through all this, I have observed some truths. In fact, my business partner and I wrote a book on the truths, these principles for financial happiness, and how to use money as a tool instead of a trophy. It's called Swing the Hammer. You can get it on Amazon, but that's not why I'm here. I'm not here to sell books, and I'm not here to get you as clients. I'm here to eradicate financial insecurity and give you a real sense of how to do it, maybe even on your own. That'd be great. We have a little couplet that we always share. Just because you have a hammer doesn't mean you're a carpenter. Just because you have money doesn't mean you're happy. You got to learn how to swing the hammer. Thus, the title of the book, Swing the Hammer. So in today's story, we're talking to Kaleb, who is under 30 years old and living what is perceived to be a pretty good life. He has a girlfriend who he lives with. Their bills are being paid. They're saving thousands of dollars a month. I'll take some credit for that, even though I don't deserve it. And they're okay. And the message that he sent to me started with the realization on his end, which is good, that he wasn't saving as much every month. And that's where he kind of picked up I keep getting distracted and buying new toys, new stuff to do. So we put him through our little happiness formula. If you don't know this, don't even buy the book. I'll just tell you what it is right now. 3 things: achievement, connection, and contentment. You have to have those feelings in your life: a sense of achievement, a sense of contentment, and a sense of connection. What are those things? Well, let's take them as I approached him. So I always kind of go to the connection piece. This is, how are things going? How are things going at home, with your friends, with your boss? He had recently gotten a new job, slightly less money, but way better as far as the business was concerned. He was kind of working for a little bit of a tyrant, and now he's working for a really terrific few fellas, and that's great. So he says, I'm really happy. He doesn't have superficial relationships. He doesn't feel lonely. Okay, cool. So there's not a connection that we're trying to get with someone or away from someone. We're trying to distance ourselves by going out and buying a bunch of toys for his weekend activities in the woods and having fun, right? You would think escapement, that might be it. Okay, interesting. Not there. Tell me about your sense of contentment, which is sometimes really hard to understand. Sense of contentment is how do you feel like at peace, or do you feel, gratitude? This is another great way to check your sense of contentment. If you have too much contentment, you will hear the phrase, I'm so bored. It's because your life is too easy. I'm so bored. Yeah, your life is too easy. Go do something hard. Or on the opposite side, if you don't have enough contentment, you get very anxious. You're just overly nervous. You're overly nervous and you can't function. You're worried about everything. And so you're kind of the deer in the headlights. you can't do anything about it. And he says, I'm not really necessarily bored. I'm not necessarily anxious. I don't feel that that's where I am. So we go over to achievement. Achievement is you have to legit get over some kind of barrier. And it could be anything, especially from the finance side, right? Pay off student loans, super common. Folks under 40 years old who are clients of mine, probably their big thing that's hanging over them is to pay off the student loans. Totally get it. What's great about that is, boom, built-in achievement. Like, let's do it. Barrier. Let's figure it out. Let's knock it out of the park. So if you have too much achievement, you become kind of egotistical. You get this kind of sense of hubris about you, and that has serious impacts on your relationships, right? So right back to the connection piece. No one wants to hang out with you, and if they do, it's going to be a very superficial relationship, so you're not going to be able to connect to them. So, okay, great. How about on the other side? Yielding. And he started to explain to me, this might be it. And I never would have guessed this. The new job, really likes it, is not upset with the lower pay. And it was not like it wasn't like 50%. It was like a 10% haircut. And he makes about $100,000 a year. So it wasn't that, but yielding. He said, in my old job, in my old life, even in school, he happened to be in the Army as well. He was a go-getter. And right now, it's a new job. There's a lot of learning to do. He's a little bit on a sales capacity now, which he's not I don't know if he's a natural born, but he's not a trained salesperson. I don't know anyone who's just under 30 and is a trained salesperson, but it's very new waters for him. And a lot of his effort these days is learning the product, learning the systems. It's in the medical field, and it has to do with products that doctors' offices and hospitals use. And he's kind of like the technician that goes and fixes that stuff, but also it's a small company, so he's also kind of a salesperson. And so he's just got a lot to learn. And he feels like he can't be a go-getter because he doesn't know how to go get. And that sense of yielding, he sort of backtracked, and he discovered this. This was great. I was merely the facilitator. He found he knows what to do when he's camping. He knows the conveniences, and he just wanted to say, it would be a little bit nicer if I just had this kind of backpack or this kind of trenching tool or this kind of whatever. Life would just be a little easier when camping. And he was using that as, I always call it like a MacGuffin, like a substitute for the yielding nature that he was put in now in his job. He is a go-getter. He wants to achieve, and he can't quite achieve yet because of this learning process. How is it manifesting itself in his life right now? He's buying extra camping gear for the weekend adventures. That's interesting. Now that he knows this, he knows, this is why I'm not saving as much, because of this feeling. Suddenly he can say like, all right, the purpose now, I gotta learn this stuff. And instead of going camping, maybe I just double down and be like, all right, look, I'm going to gut it out for this next weekend. He has to overcome a barrier. And the barrier is he's got to learn this stuff so we can get to that next stage, so we can get out there and start achieving. He says after this phone call with me, he had not bought anything, which is great. But knowing, just kind of understanding where you are in that spectrum, especially Kaleb, understanding where he was in that, tremendously powerful. It's not just, well, what do you want to do? Approach your dreams. Make some goals. Go get them. It goes a little bit deeper in that. It really says, okay, let me split this up into, the achievement, the contentment, the connection. Where am I? Let me hone down and really focus on this and understand that that's where the problem is. That's where the problem is. And now I can make a goal, or I can chart a path toward getting out of this funk. Last reports this weekend, he's feeling much happier. And he made his first sale, which really gave him a big jolt of excitement. So that was really fun. All these concepts, by the way, you don't have to take notes. They all come from our book, which you can just get on Amazon. The name of the book is Swing the Hammer. I'm Brian Sullivan, my partner Iris. We are here. You can check us out at social medias at Fiscal Dynamics, whether you're on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. But even if you've never talked to us, I just want you to make one important choice. Choose happiness and learn how to get it. Thanks so much. We'll see you for the next story.